Hey guys, Aramis555 here. Today I'm going to be talking about the new ban list that got announced this morning. I'm a little shocked with some of the stuff in it, but I think it's going to be a pretty crazy format. They did address a lot of the stuff that was wrong. And actually today I'm going to have a guest with me here. Hopefully you can hear him. It's going to be DarkVulpine1. It's my buddy Rob.
Hey everybody, what's up guys? DarkVulpine1 here. Here at Aramis555. We're going to discuss this ban list. So let's kick it off, don't you think?
I'll turn it up, see if they can hear you better.
Let's hope we can hear it as well as possible.
Yeah, they'll be able to hear you now. Okay, so we're going to get started. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go down the list. I'll have the list down below in the sub bar thing, but we're going to go through the list and we'll just talk about it. I'll give my opinion on the card. Rob will give his, and we'll just move down, and we'll talk about how we think those cards are going to affect the format. So starting off, I'll just let you go first before I go, Rob, just so we can kind of, I think it'll go faster that way.
Okay, no problem. Okay. No problem.
Fishborg Blaster, what do you think?
I believe that the card is like Substitute. They should get rid of it, and they should come out with a balanced replacement. I think that any card that is a reusable tuner, as long as you could just plop a Ronin token or an Oystermeister token on the field, should not be around. I'm very happy that they banned Fishborg Blaster. Now let them come out with something to replace it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I do wish it was at 1. Me and Rob were actually talking about this earlier, but I do wish this was at 1. But
in terms of loops, though, in terms of corny loops, you only need 1.
Yeah, it's very true. And a lot of decks did just run 1. Like I know Formula Monarchs just ran 1. Fish OTK usually ran 3, I think. But Fish OTK is gonna be dead now. Fish OTK is gone, which is nice. So Trunade gone as well. That's good. So moving on. Yeah. So anyways. Fishborg Blaster, I'm glad it's forbidden. I wish it was at 1 still, but as we get down the list, it'll make more sense. So next card, Mind Master.
FTK card only. There's no point of running that card if you're not really trying FTK. Regular Psychic decks, they have a ton more support that they can use. That card can rot in hell, as far as I'm concerned. It's another substitute. Actually, I'm going to compare this one a little bit more along the lines of Rescue Cat, a card that's just going to bring out a bunch of broken crap, and all it's going to produce is OT and FTKs. Yeah,
I agree. With it dead, the Psychic OTK is gone / FTK. And
the Gusto FTK is no longer.
Yeah, the Gusto FTK. All those stupid FTKs are gone. It was just because the wording in that card was so stupid. The fact that you could use it multiple times in a turn definitely made it deserve the ban. I think it should have been actually banned last format, but I guess because Psychics were coming out in North America, they wanted to kind of give it a chance. But the deck wasn't competitive anyways, so it doesn't matter. Moving on, Giant Trunade. That's a big one.
Giant Trunade is it's one of those 3 big back row cards: Cold Wave, Giant Trunade, and Heavy Storm,
which they were all around in one format at the same time.
They all were around in one format, but also there were a lot of OTKs. Giant Trunade takes no thought. Heavy Storm takes a lot of thought because there were a lot of cards, and people will devote cards in their deck.
And Starlight Road will be coming back. I think Dark Bride's going to be gaining a lot of popularity.
Yeah, but no one's going to be plopping in a bunch of random cards just to play, just to stop Giant Trunade. Giant Trunade, the only purpose of that card sometimes was just to OTK, and I think the purpose of Heavy Storm is there to regulate the amount of back rows that are set. So I'm actually fairly pleased that Giant Trunade is gone. Yeah,
Giant Trunade's the one card actually in the ban section that I wasn't surprised about. I figured it was going to go. I figured it was Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm, like you said, Rob, was something that you can control. It's something you can stop. Giant Trunade, there's no cards that can technically stop it except for, say, Magic Drain, Dark Bribe. And I always found that every time someone Trunaded me when I had a bunch of back rows, especially my Value Turbo, it was like I'd have to waste my Solemn Judgment on that. And any card that you have to just like automatically waste your judgment on it is not a good card for the game. It was also bad because Call the Haunted, Limerick Verse, Phoenix Chain, all those cards that were gaining popularity. They, of course,
were being reused.
Yeah, reused, and just pluses and pluses and pluses.
Honestly, how many times did you see Call of the Haunted, target Sangin, activate Giant Trunade, search your deck for an effect Veiler,
reset Call the Haunted. Yeah, and then you just got rid of all your opponent's back rows as well. So if you want, you didn't even have to search out the Veiler. You can search out something. Yeah, search out something that's going to help you, OTK your opponent. Grab a Lonefire Blossom or something with planets. Anyways, moving on. The next one, Royal Oppression. I know you have something to say about this.
Okay, Royal Oppression. A lot of people are going to go, oh, well, yeah, those card decks that don't special summon a lot, which is, yes, that is true. I'm not going to argue that. The problem is you start seeing decks seeing decks that have these huge boss monsters, right, that can just, they do all the special summoning that they want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get out their Shi En, they get out their Shooting Star Dragon, they get out their Red Nova Dragon, whatever the case may be. Right, and then your opponent, you flip up Royal Oppression later, and after you already did all your moves, you flip Royal Oppression, and now it's like, okay, do you have an MST?
Yeah.
Can you get rid of this oppression within 1 or 2 turns? Otherwise, you lost.
Yeah, even like say cards like Stardust Dragon, where you have to tribute it and then special summon it back. Generally, if you got Stardust Dragon out in Oppression, you're probably gonna win because you're gonna negate their stuff, right? And then, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can negate stuff like Dragoonides. Like that was one of the biggest ways.
Dragoonides are dead, by the way, people. I just want to butt in. Dragoonides are dead.
Yeah, they're not Dragoonides.
Yeah, they're dead.
But the point of the matter is that Royal Oppression is like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop my 2 Hyper Librarians. I'm gonna drop a Formula, a Brionic, this, that, and the other thing. And wait a minute, you have a Miracle Fusion, which might give you an opportunity maybe to come back. No, I'm going to flip Royal Oppression. Oh, and your hand also has Monster Reborn. I'm going to negate that too. Mm-hmm. You also have this, and it's like, but you got to do all the summoning you wanted to do. Solemn Warning has a 2,000 life point.
Yeah, it's a much steeper payment. The 800 is it actually goes down a lot slower than you think. Like it's big, it adds up. But it
adds up, but you only get 6 cards in your opening hand. If you negate all 6 of them, you only pay 3,200 life, or whatever. My math's probably awful. 4,800, which doesn't lose you the game if you can negate all 6 of their cards as well.
Yeah, see, you agree about Oppression getting banned was a good thing then.
We might have to do more than one video.
We are gonna have to do. Yeah, sorry guys, we're gonna have to do a couple parts on this if you're willing to watch the whole thing.
If you want, let's just we'll finish up with Royal Oppression and then we'll talk about the limited cards.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so just getting back with Royal Oppression, like just think about it, right? Let's just take a deck. Let's take any random deck. Let's go with Vayu Turbo, right?
Yes, yeah. Perfect example.
Vayu Turbo is gonna drop. They're gonna go, and they're gonna drop Dark Arm Dragon, and then they're gonna make Armor Master, right? And they're going to have something set for the Dark Hole, right? Mm-hmm. Dark Hole is already used. Let's say that you had the Dark Hole away, a Dark Greffer, and a Arm Wing in order to like clear the field to get a little attack in, right? Let's say you had to do that. And then next turn, Dark Arm Dragon comes out, and then Armor Master comes out from a Vayu and that, right? And your opponent has like, let's say your opponent just has like a Reborn, and he could, use Reborn to grab your Arm Wing or whatever, or your Greffer, and then he could sync from Brionic in order to get out of it, and he just Oppression.
Yeah, and he's not going to come out of that. You need to have an MST in your hand. Now, in my argument of this, I actually think that one of the biggest problems... Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked on something. One of the biggest problems of... Let me go back here. Biggest problems of this last format was just decks that swarm too many monsters. Now, I think with Oppression gone, I'm a little worried about that, honestly. And there's some cards in the list that did get hit. And stuff that came back. There's actually one card which we'll get to later on, the no longer restricted section, which is Judgment Dragon. Okay. I'm very upset that's back at 3. What's that?
Name me a deck that's going to swarm a lot of monsters, right? But in one.
Well, yeah. Of course, this list is different than what ours is. We're going to probably have Tengu get hit. People don't think it will, but I do. Yeah. But Tengu Synchro is a perfect example.
Let's name Sabers, right?
Yeah, Sabers, yes.
A lot of big swarming decks, honestly, are going to swarm based off of a lot of like back row support, with cards such as Double-Edged Sword Technique, cards such as Godham's Emergency Call, Call of the Haunted in Plants, Limit Reverse in Plants. You're going to use that a lot.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be back stuff. With Heavy Storm around, you can't just set all of those and wait.
Yeah, it's very true. With Heavy Storm back, it's going to be a much more strategic format. And the nice thing is, people are probably going to be setting so many back rows. And that Oppression would have been down there too, that if they're going to set all those back rows, they're probably going to set a Starlight Road with it. So you're going to know if a person sets, 3 to 4 back rows, that there's going to be
Starlight's down.
You know Starlight Row's down, because that or Dark Bride, because you know that they're not going to set all those and risk that you might just be able to, get a +3 off of it with your Heavy Storm.
And I want to put some sort of ruling real quick before we go. If you destroy Starlight Road, right, before it resolves, if you destroy it with an MST, they don't special summon the Stardust Dragon, which I think had because Starlight Road.
Yeah, and that's why you think MSTs come back.
If MST going to 3, do not think for 1 second that wasn't in their minds.
Yeah,
in terms of
I think it was a good idea. Like, this format was definitely, there were decks that were very monster based, but it was monsters that could either get around all those back rows, or it was monsters that had a lot of destruction effects. Now, my one thing with Oppression is I'm a little sad it did get hit, just for that reason that there's some decks that just can play around it so well.
They can poop cards out.
Yeah, they're just with no minusing. But in all fairness, I think that them bringing back MST to 3 and Heavy Storm, I think Oppression actually staying at 1 would have been fairly, it would have been viable.
It would have been tolerable, yes. Yeah. It would have been
tolerable. But I do agree with what you're saying. I completely agree with the fact that if your opponent gets out a big field, like I know one of my most hated things I used to always play against my friend used to play GBs was, getting out a Herc and an Oppression, you're going to lose. There's no way you can come out of that. You lost.
So, exact reason with Samurai. If Samurai kill out Shien and Oppression, good night.
Yeah, they've won. Yeah, exactly. So I think that was good they got rid of it just for that fact that if you can get out a big nasty boss monster and then you flip up Oppression, your opponent's lost. And there's just nothing you could do. So that was really good.
It had more to do with the boss monster.
Yeah.
Bad. Because it takes no thought to Oppression.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 12 minutes here, guys, so make sure to check out part 2. Next part, we're going to be talking about the restricted cards. Those are cards that have gone to 1, so make sure to stay tuned for that, or I'll put a link.
Check out Soldier.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about in the restricted section. There was a lot of stuff that changed. So I'm going to have a link to that here, and there's also going to be a link to it down there if you guys want to check out part 2. So, yeah, Zeramus555 signing out.